Why do you reach for that one shirt and not another? Why that brand of phone when another one works just as well? Why the gym, the cafe, the car that somehow just feels like you? Every choice we make, from sneakers to software, whispers something about our identity, who we are, who we are not, and who we wish to be seen as. We don't just buy products, we buy reflections, reflections of our self image. This is the self image congruence effect, or as psychologists call it, self congruity theory. The closer a brand feels to our sense of self, the stronger our loyalty, emotion, and attachment. And when it doesn't, we distance ourselves, often without realizing why. Makanksha, and this is the Storyteller's Lens. Today, we are exploring why we are drawn to brands that feel like us. We look at the psychology of identity and belonging, what the research reveals, how it quietly shapes our daily choices, and how brands can use it responsibly without turning people into marketing avatars. By the end, you will start seeing every purchase, every logo, and every lifestyle cue as a mirror. One that reflects more than taste, it reflects who we think we are. The idea traces back to psychologist M. Joseph Sergi. He proposed something beautifully simple, that we choose brands whose image aligns with our self image. There are two sides to that mirror: the actual self, who we believe we are, the ideal self, who we want to be. When a brand matches either of these selves, we feel harmony. When it doesn't, something feels off, even if we can't explain it. Sergey found that the closer this match, the higher our purchase intent, satisfaction, and loyalty. And when both actual and ideal selves align, that effect multiplies. We also form what Russell Bell called the extended self. Our possessions don't just express identity, they become part of it. That's why losing your phone feels more personal than losing a wallet. Brands are no longer just things we use, they are fragments of me and mine. Later, Jennifer Arcade mapped how consumers perceive brands like people with personalities, sincerity, excitement, competence, sophistication, ruggedness. We choose brands that share our traits or the traits we aspire to. When that match clicks, it feels effortless. It's why the same watch can look powerful on one person, pretentious on another. The same logo can whisper success to one group and sell out to another. Research by Escalades and Bettman showed we internalize brands used by our in groups, people we relate to, admire, or want to join. Conversely, we reject those used by out groups, those who signal not me. That's the dissociation effect. We don't just align, we avoid. A car, a sneaker, even a coffee chain can become a social boundary. And as Jonah Berger notes, once a style crosses over to the wrong crowd, the early adopters leave. Because when everybody has it, it no longer signals me. This is not vanity, it's identity maintenance, a quiet, continuous process of defining who we are through what we choose. You see self image congruence in the smallest moments. You pass up perfectly good trainers because they don't feel like your crowd. You prefer one gym over another, not for the equipment, but for the people there. You choose a coffee brand because its tone, minimalist, bold, sustainable, mirrors your value. And dissociation drives rejection. Even in software, a brand saying for makers versus for enterprises instantly divides audiences. The language doesn't describe features, it describes tribes. We use brands like emotional coordinates. Each choice locates us on the map of who we are or who we hope to be seen as. But there is a trap here. When identity takes over utility, we stop buying what we need and start buying who we want to be. That's how branding works at its deepest level, by borrowing the architecture of the self. And that's why being mindful of that connection matters. So, how can we make this relationship healthier as consumers and as creators? Start by naming the user image. Ask yourself, who is this brand for? Is that me or just who the ad wants me to be? Then separate identity from function. Make two lists, one for what the product does and one for what it signals. If the second list is longer, pause. Watch for the crowd effect. Are you buying to express yourself or to belong? The answer is not always wrong, but it should always be yours. For brands, the same awareness applies. Identity marketing is powerful, but fragile. Define who your brand truly serves. Build a personality that's authentic, not an act. Be consistent in how you speak, look, and behave. Identity is not a costume, it's a character. And when you design experiences that help people express who they already are, not who you want them to be, you build trust. That's what psychologists call self verification. It's marketing that affirms, not pressures. The strongest brands don't shout identity, they reflect it back to the people who gave it meaning in the first place. In the end, the brands we choose become stories we tell about ourselves. Some honest, some aspirational, some borrowed. Every purchase says something to others and to us. The question is, when you look around at the things you own, the logos you wear, the coffee cup in your hand, are they telling your story or someone else's? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.